My homily for the 8th Sunday in Ordinary Time, the 2nd of March 2025. Today's Gospel gives us one of the classic parables of Jesus. Why do you notice the speck in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? It's not saying that we're worse than others, for a speck in another's eye will seem like a log in our own. But it is saying that we need to recognize that we're all sinners. None of us see clearly enough to pass a final judgment on anybody else. Only God has the unimpaired vision to do that. We all must see the wisdom of Jesus' words. We know ourselves better than anybody else. We know that we are flawed. Recognizing that is a key part of our growth and coming to maturity, and it brings compassion. We feel for others in their weaknesses because we recognize that we too have weaknesses. We know that we too have fallen or could fall where they have fallen. There but for the grace of God go I, as the wise old phrase says. There is nothing that cuts us off from God more than arrogance and the belief that we are superior to others. And religion can fuel arrogance and a superiority complex if we're not careful. Who did Jesus criticize very strongly during his ministry? The Pharisees, because they considered themselves to be superior to others. Pharisee has become a term for a hypocrite, someone who has plenty to say and plenty to condemn, but is in fact no better than those they criticize. Remember last week's gospel. Do not judge and you will not be judged. Do not condemn and you will not be condemned. I'm reading a book at the moment about Pope Francis called Untying the Knots. It says how he dispensed with a lot of the externals of his papal role, like the fancy apartment that could hold 300, the chauffeur-driven limousine and the ornate vestments. Some traditionalists denounced his simpler approach as humiliating and undignified for the church. I thought, what do they say about God, who emptied himself to assume the condition of a slave and be crucified? How humiliating and undignified was that? Humility is at the heart of our faith, for it is the way that Jesus, our Saviour, showed us.